guy I want to talk about is Mateer. He was considered a late first round pick or probably a day 2 pick, but after an early start to the season, his stock went through the roof. After being a little known recruit coming out of high school, he was identified by Eric Morris and ended up at Washington State, where he absolutely blew up in 2024. Last season, he passed for over 3,000 yards and 29 touchdowns, while also rushing for nearly 1,000 yards and 15 scores. He became a top 3 quarterback transfer in the portal and decided to go to Oklahoma with his offensive coordinator. Mateer was going to be the guy that could save Oklahoma football, and through the first few games, he looked pretty solid. He ended up having 300 yards and 4 touchdowns against Illinois State, nearly 400 yards and 3 touchdowns against Michigan, and then 2 touchdowns against Temple. He did struggle with interception, as he did have a pick in his first 3 games, but then after a close win over Auburn, it was announced that he was going to need hand surgery. Unfortunately, this would sideline him for a bit, and he was rushed back against Texas. Michael Hawkins filled in his place, but against Texas, Mateer was horrendous. He ended up only throwing for 200 yards with no touchdowns and 3 interceptions, as they got beat 23-6 by the Longhorns, and that loss looks worse by the week, as Texas is currently on life support. Mateer has not been much better since then, as against South Carolina, he went 18 of 26 for 150 yards and a touchdown. Then this past weekend against Ole Miss, he went 17 of 31 for 200 yards and a touchdown. Sure, he didn't throw picks in these last 2 games, but it's because the ball wasn't going anywhere near anybody. There were so many times at the end of that Ole Miss game where Mateer just overthrew or just made a terrible read, and I'm not sure what's going on. Is it the injury? Is it the confidence? Is it the system? I have no clue. All I know is John Mateer doesn't really look himself, and for a guy who was supposed to be able to use his legs, they haven't done much of that in the last couple of games. I truly don't know what's going on, but John Mateer went from a Heisman favorite and a first round pick to looking like he's going to need another season at Oklahoma.